wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much for joining us on the AM Cafe this morning. Trust you guys are being well and you're doing great. Of course, it's Christmas season. Hope you guys have been fine and you've been enjoying the season over the days. This morning, we're talking about abuse of Naira, the CBN policy on abuse of Naira. So I'm Tolulope Hakiyemi, your host for today, and I have a wonderful guest with me, Mr. David Howard. You're welcome, ma. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, Tolulope.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Hope you're good.
Thanks to God.
All right. So today we're talking about the abuse of Naira. Generally in this part of the country, you see, when they released I think the policy have been inaugurated since 2007, I think, something like that. So a lot of people regarding the abuse of Naira, people have been using Naira in different ways, and they are not aware of what is the best way, how is the best way to use Naira, basically. And you will see this Nigeria part of the country, the western part, you notice that in parties generally, the way people spray money during political activities, it's like people have fun spraying money. And the CBN now bringing up a policy that stuffs like that should be prohibited and be eradicated. How do we deal with that, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, we need to look at who we are as a people. We can't separate our culture, our lifestyle from the use of Naira. Either good or bad, we've actually not had it good, really. What I mean is the fact that we are somehow a show-off persons. That's the kind of person we are, irrespective of your background as a nation, and even in Africa. We try to make known what we have, who we are, and all that. Absolutely. And for CBN to come out to try to instill discipline about our Naira, I think it's a policy to be applauded. However, there's going to be a lot of challenges getting that done.
Absolutely, especially our culture.
Because it's part of our lives. And changing people, adults, for instance, changing adults from a set of lifestyle to a new way of life, it's not going to be easy. A tea party thing, It's going to, you go to many occasions, people want to show up. In the mindset, it's like, I want to show that I love you. So people give you money. Not all people show up, as it were. Some does that as part of, let me appreciate you, I love you, I buy into what you are doing. However, that's an abuse of the currency.
Wow.
There's no currency that is printed in Nigeria that usually lasts 3 years, as it were. If you look at it, you follow the consequence. The sequence. No currency lasts 3 years before you begin to see it defacing. And the simple fact is that the way we handle cash, the way it is expected that you have a purse or uniquely select your cash, and so that to reduce the cost of printing. Sometimes I smile when I see people attacking government that they are using billions of naira to print cash, not knowing you are also contributing to it, the way and manner which you are handling such cash. So if CBN says you handle naira wrongly, go to jail, it's a good thing. However, the challenge I'm saying is implementation. Because yes,
don't you think that CBN is being insensitive in that area? I've always seen that basically the government wants to mimic this Western policy, or let me say the international world, American, so to say. They want to copy their lifestyle and all, even to the dressing, but then to making policy that's against our own culture, Isn't it quite insensitive, sir?
Okay, for me, it's never an insensitive thing. You know, like you mentioned that probably we want to copy the American style or the European style or whatever. The good thing is that we all talk about, oh, go to America, you see how things work. So if things work there and we love the way things work there, why can't we want to adopt that thing that works? The new system of cash now is saying that you can withdraw above 20,000 naira per day. Go to this advance where we all claim, oh, they are advanced. Do they have similar cash? Do they have similar cash handling? Do they utilize cash for transaction in a large volume? Yet we want to be like them in their system, in their standard, to reduce corruption, to reduce money for kidnapping, to reduce a lot of things. But we don't want to follow that process. It's not going to work. The point is that if you love a system, you must look at the procedure that made that system stand. Once you follow you want that system to be domiciled in your locality, your environment, you must agree with government that are sincere. Once you see the sincerity of government in doing that, we should all line up to follow that. It's not going to be easy, like I said, because we are party people. Now, if you go to parties now, you need to either do transfer or you put your money in the envelope, give to the person. No, that's the person still know you do something, rather than you want the whole world to know that, and even let me tell you, spraying in party these days has actually reduced because of the insecurity and that we have in that, because you can't go to a party, you start spraying these places. Who knows? Somebody is right there waiting for you. When you finish spraying that, you come and spray my own outside. So we must be sensitive to all that, and at the same time appreciate the CBN who are trying to bring sanity to our financial system. So for me, it's not insensitivity, but it's to bring sanity to the system. Ensure
as opposing to your perspective about spraying of money being reduced, I would say that it's not actually, because recently there's a particular comedian on social media that just got wedded, Sabalo, and during the whole wedding, you can see a lot of celebrities spraying money, like showing off money in different ways, and you'll be like, oh my god, these people are just there. Now the thing is that, sir, do you think, looking at our culture, it's good to follow the procedures that works, but don't you think we are jumping procedures? From the point of view that now looking at the American style, like the British, now they do not just start by taking rash decision. They started from the grassroots. I feel like we are not starting from the grassroots. We are just taking step, maybe from the higher level. From the perspective that, if you go to America now, you see they've worked on their mindsets to reshape their mindset in such a way that no matter what happens in America, you would not see them, say negative things to America. They will always say, God bless America. You get? Then from there, you see a lot of structure that is being built from the grassroots level before taking a particular decision that they will know it will have a diverse effect on their people. So I feel like we are not doing justice to the grassroots level in the aspect of education on like what you said about cash limit transfer now. That was so absurd. Why? Because you did not prepare the citizens that you want to actually do something that is very, very much nice for them. You've not taken time to educate them. You've not taken time to to teach them how to do these things. You just take a decision and you expect that everybody will follow. And these people are those that have a sense of reasoning on their own. So what's your say about that, sir?
You see, I want to try all I could not to be a spokesman for the CBN. I'm not. So I'm going to be more be factual and more objective as possible. Like you rightly said, the law prohibiting abuse of cash is not a recent thing. It's been for years.
Yes.
The CBN Act has been amended to criminalize abuse of cash. That is one. Secondly, the policies that are coming out that we are all seeing now is not new, as it were. The only new thing is the procedures of getting it done. The cashless policy has started for years.
Of course.
The awareness has started for. However, I still hold the view that the awareness still need more emphasis.
Exactly.
However, does not mean the awareness has not been on ground. It's been going on even before the introduction of the POS, before the introduction of the ATM, just to ensure that there's reduction in the use of cash. And so, for me, and objectively, this awareness has been on ground. The policies are not new,
of course,
as it were. They are not. And mind you, nobody, as it were, really want to change on a system that you are enjoying on a spot. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
Like they give analysis of a young a toddler sucking the mother's breast. You want to just change the mindset just like that. It's going to be some war. The mother will have to face reality that
absolutely
I have to. So the same thing happens when we are already used to a system. But beyond that, we need to also look at it realistically. Like, is this system helping our economy? If it's not helping our economy, all of us must understand the fact that we are all responsible for what makes our economy work. What government has to just do is to create a policy that works, do sensitization, and enforce that policy. And for me, this is not a new policy at all. And like I said, I'm trying not to. I'm not a CBN official, so I'm just a Nigerian who sees what happened, who practices the financial system and who understand how things work and how things have been. So for me, it's not a new policy, it's not a new law, but the implementation are in phases. A new phase is what we are saying now, that brought about reduction in cash, then that brought about instituting the law that was existing before now, that this law will now be utilized. So it's not as if government is insensitive to people's plight or people's lifestyle. It's simply that, they say there is no ignorance in law.
Yes, sir.
You can't claim I'm not aware. The law has been there. The fact that the law is not utilized or implemented does not mean the law is not existing.
Yeah.
So I want us to understand the fact that it is never a new law, and at the same time, it's a procedure to get it done. But I still hold a view that the awareness must be stronger to reach the grassroots,
Right,
to
exactly.
reach everyone, to understand that this is not targeted at anyone. This is targeted at our economy to work. Okay, for instance, it was claimed from statistics that the cash in our circulation, in circulation is about 3 trillion. But the cash in bank and the banking system is 1.something trillion. So that tells you over 1.5 trillion are stuck somewhere in the pockets, in the house, whatever. Over 1 trillion are in the banking system rolling, and that tells you that 50% of our economy is already dead. Using that analysis. So the point is, it is not a new policy. However, it may not be easy for us to
accept and adapt to it.
We must see it, like you said, people say God bless America.
Exactly.
The American God bless is an America everybody choose to see as their own project.
Exactly.
The same way we must also see Nigeria as our project.
Yes.
And accept a policy that will make us good.
Yeah.
If the policy is bad, totally bad, we are not all toddler. All of us cannot just live the same way, and we will all say it out.
Absolutely.
So we should see it that way, that this is something to help our policy, our economy, our country, and we should be good for it.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's a pleasure to
Thank
be.
you.
Thank
All right.
you.
So to round this session up, but obviously most of the time when governments make a particular policy or law, it's always so unfair on the masses compared to the elites, in the sense that this abuse of naira policy and law that is being, I would say, reinstated, because it's not as effective as it used to be, and the awareness is not that much. Because I was shocked when they said the man handling, the way you handle your money, if you do it anyhow, you're going to jail for it, or you get to pay 50,000 fine for just rough handling the naira. So what I want to say is that how effective is this abuse of naira law and policy? Both, is it going to be fair on the elites and the masses, and not just on the masses alone?
Well, let's be hopeful the fairness will play out. And on the area of awareness, I think the CBN should actually partner with stations like yours that people watch, to sensitize people and all that. But the implementation, I know it may take a while to get, but we must always understand that the law exists, and the point is that the implementation may take a while, but it is a possible thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's AM Cafe, and I'm Tulokwe Akiyemi signing out.
Wonderful morning to you, sport fans, and welcome to Sports on Osbc TV. Liawi Okebale of Shudo Mutaya Adebodin's my name. Welcoming you on board this morning. Well, with Morocco dumped out of the ongoing FIFA World Cup, they bowed out in style, and of course, they bowed out with their heads high as far as the FIFA World Cup is concerned. Of course, got into the semi-finals of the world. Biggest showpiece. It's not a joke, and of course for Morocco it will be a moment to reflect on as they head into Saturday's third place game with Croatia. They'll be hoping to get something out of that match against the Croatian side. Well, with all part data this time around, an African team will be able to get a medal as far as the FIFA World Cup is concerned. But still talking FIFA World Cup in Qatar, yes, France will be up against Argentina in the finals on Sunday, and we'll see how things pans out. Lionel Messi and Argentina looking to win their first World Cup in so many years, and of course the first for Lionel Messi, and of course for the France national team. It would be another time to rewrite history, as they would look to become the first country in over 60 years to win the FIFA World Cup back to back. No country has done that in past years, and of course they will be looking to be the first country in recent time to do that. But moving on this morning very quickly because of our time to result of matches. Yesterday, Ocean Babes were defeated 3-0. Yes, Ocean Babes were defeated 3-0 by Nigeria Tales in Abuja. Of course, it's not looking good for the Babes at the moment, but we hope they will be able to bounce back, get the maximum points away from home, and of course, do the needful at home, getting that points. But yes, at the same time, we understand that other result of matches that will be decided when we get them, we'll rule them out. But let's fly to Europe this morning. As we understand, Chelsea striker has been ruled out of season due to ACL injury, Achilles injury, and of course that leaves Chelsea with only Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as their point man at the moment. And of course, Chelsea will be in the market for another striker in January. We'll see how things pans out with Chelsea. And of course, moving on this morning, World Cup 2023 in Australia and New Zealand to go ahead with 23 women scored. And yes, 23 women scored. And of course, men World Cup in Qatar was permitted to retain 26 men scored limit, which was the first introduced for the Summer of European Championships, and retained for the women's Euros in the summer. But FIFA has rejected a request to increase the maximum squad size to 26 at next summer's Women's World Cup, despite Serena Williams being among those who called for the move. And of course, the England boss and German counterpart Maria Vos telling Slog yes, discussed the proposal with other international coaches at the Women's World Cup final draw in October, with numbers joining at them to back the idea. And of course, the ongoing Men's World Cup in Qatar has allowed 26 man as were permitted for both men and Women's European Championship in 2020 and 2021, while football recovered from the effect of the COVID pandemic. And FIFA has not explicitly given its reasons for the decision, but has told newsmen that the Women's World Cup, starting after the domestic season, unlike in Qatar at present, has finished players a part in the